Smackdown starts off with a Kevin Owens and Randy Orton promo. Starts off with KO saying that he was in the wrong and that he says that Randy Orton didn't deserve to get hit with the power driver, but he says Cody and Sammy did, and he ends up saying that the reason he did what he did was because Randy picked Cody over him, and it made him angry, and he ends up saying that he should understand because he had done things in the past that made him angry that he ended up regretting, and Kevin Owens basically tries to apologize and saying that he regret what he did, and that he wants to still be friends with Randy Orton, and that he wants to go after the tag team titles. He's like, look, he made his mistakes, and he wants to go after the tag team titles with Randy Orton. Randy Orton, of course, ends up refusing the offer, and he ends up saying that he will basically punk kick him at WrestleMania. I liked it. This was overall a really good promo segment. There was more to it, but that was basically the whole premise of the promo. I like what they did here. Very simple, straight to the point, nothing too major, but this was overall a good segment from them. I like what they did. I can't wait. Now, they've been teasing this punt kick in every single segment with KO and Randy. So, of course, I'm assuming they're going to deliver it, but that would be so disappointing if they don't deliver on the punt kick because they've been teasing it, constantly mentioning it. So they have to do it at Mania. That's the even though ideally I would love for Kevin Owens to win this feud as much as I love Randy Orton. But we know Randy Orton is going to win this feud. But if he wins it off the punt kick, which he should win it off the punt kick, that'd be great because we haven't seen the punt kick in so long. So it'd be great when we actually do see it. And the pop that punt kick is going to get when he eventually does do it is going to be amazing. But overall, this was a good segment. I like what they did here. Nothing too major, but I like this promo between the two, and I hope they continue to build towards this feud because this is one of the more heated rivalries, especially this is the more personal rivalries that they have going into WrestleMania. So I hope they can continue to build it well towards Mania. After this, we end up getting a tag match between Damian Priest, Jimmy Uso, Shinsuke, and Drew McIntyre. This was a fine match. Jimmy and Damian Priest picks up the victory. Then afterwards, you end up getting Damian Priest attacking, no, Drew McIntyre attacking Damian Priest. This is similar to what they did last week with Drew McIntyre attacking Damian Priest last week. Not gonna really go that in depth into it. I personally like the feud. I know a lot of people don't like it, but to be honest, a lot of people just don't like it because they want Drew McIntyre to be in a bigger story. That's really it. People just hate on this feud because it involves Damian Priest. Me personally, I like the feud. I don't mind it. I do think they need to pick it up a bit. I think that in order to make this feud better, to have people buy into it, that they need to have it. They need they need a back and forth. They need something like what they did on Tonight Show with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair, or they need a promo segment where they're going back and forth instead of just having them attack each other. They need a segment where they're just going back and forth on the microphone. That's what they need to get them invested. They need to do what they did towards the build up towards Elimination Chamber when they had that segment where all the Elimination Chamber participants all was, on the microphone. They need to do that with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Because when it was just them two at first, going back and forth, it was great. It was great. Get them two on the microphone. That would really build up this feud to be a very interesting feud. That's what I think they should do here. After this, the win against Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton, they ended up having a little sit down interview segment. This was actually really good. Charlotte basically ends up saying that the reason why she chose Tiffany was because she felt sorry for her and that she shouldn't have been comparing herself to Tiffany Stratton because they're nothing alike and that she's basically on a whole nother level. And Tiffany is basically playing, the underdog baby face to prove Charlotte wrong that she isn't this sympathetic, girl that is weak and that she is on the level of a Charlotte Flair. And Tiffany basically ends up ending the segment with basically saying that the fans don't bow to her anymore and that they're all on Tiffany time. This was really good. This is what this feud have been missing. I've been saying this. All of these women feuds can be a lot better if you just give them microphone time. That's all they need. Just give them promo segments where they can actually express their characters, and these feuds will be a lot better. This was the best thing they done in this feud. This is the best thing they done in this feud. And the promo wasn't even all that. It was a solid segment. They're basically playing the story of Charlotte being the overconfident, arrogant veteran who looks at Tiffany as basically as weak. Tiffany is not on her level. She's beneath her, and Tiffany is playing the underdog babyface who needs to prove to Charlotte that she is on her level. This is great. This was a good segment. This is all I've been wanting from the women's division in general. Just have them have segments where where they speak on the microphone. Because if you have them speak on the microphone, the story will play out a lot better than them just having simple, one-dimensional segments. But this was really good. I enjoy what they did here. I hope they do more of this because this was really good. Afterwards, we end up getting Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman. This match is determined who will be the number one contender for LA Knight US Championship. Towards the end of the match, you end up getting the Bloodline, Solo, and Tama Tonga. They interfere, causing disqualification, which makes Braun Strowman the number one contender. They end up double teaming on Braun Strowman. Then you get LA Knight comes out and makes the save. But then later in the show, well, right after this, actually, you end up getting a segment with Jacob. Was furious with Solo. I don't know what they're doing with Jacob Fatu and Solo at WrestleMania, and I don't understand it because if the plan is to have Jacob and Solo be your Mania match, they need to kind of speed up on this, like really. And to be honest, this should have been a feud, if I'm being honest. Like, if this ends up being the Mania match, I'm gonna be excited but disappointed because this should have been the Mania match. You could have just made this the Mania match after tribal combat. Like that was your story right there. If you wanted Jacob and Solo to feud, which I'm assuming that's where we're going, because I don't know what Jacob Fatu or Solo does at Mania unless they miss the Mania card. But if they do end up facing each other, you could have just had Jacob turn on Solo after tribal combat. That could have been your story right there with him losing the Ula Fall. That would have been a simple story to tell. But waiting this long, I just don't get it. But it looks like they're teasing a match. Now we don't. I'm assuming it's happening in Mania, but with how slow they're building the story, I don't know personally. But we'll see how this plays out. But next week it's going to be LA Knight versus Braun Strowman for the U.S. Championship. After this, we end up getting Selena Vega versus Piper Niven. They've been teasing Selena Vega going after the U.S. Championship. I haven't really been mentioning it because the segments are literally like 30 seconds and they're very one-dimensional. I don't understand this. Mainly because of how long the match was and how she lost. Because I love Selena Vega. Selena Vega is one of my favorites. She's the most underutilized woman on the roster. It's ridiculous how they don't push her. It makes no sense in my opinion. She's easily the best microphone worker in that company for the women. She easily could play babyface or heel. She's decent in ring, and I think she's marketable if you actually push her. I don't understand how she's not higher on the card in my opinion. It makes no sense in my opinion. But the reason why I don't understand this is because this match was so boring. This match lasted for like 12 minutes and they did the most predictable outcome, which was having Piper win with interference. Now, I don't mind that Piper won. I get it. The problem I have is if you was going to have her win, why did this need to be 12 minutes? You could have done this in like 7 or 6 and we would have had this did not need to be a 12-minute match because this match was boring. Now, thank you to the European crowd. I forgot what it was at. But thank you for the crowd because if it wasn't for the crowd, oh man, the silence would have been, bro. If we was in America, the crowd would have been so silent for this match. Also, they changed Selena Vega's theme song, which I don't understand why her other theme song was better. Also, let me know in the comment section if I'm tripping. Why does her theme song sounds like the Smackdown theme song? Maybe I'm tripping, but when I hear her theme song, it sounds like the Smackdown theme song. Maybe I'm tripping, but I don't know. I don't understand why did they have Piper win if they were just gonna drag the match to 12 minutes. It should have been a shorter match if you're just gonna have Piper win. After this, we end up getting Jade and versus Liv Morgan. Naomi ends up coming out during the match. She interferes, costs Jade the match, which allowed Liv Morgan to pick up the victory. After the match, you end up getting Naomi attacking Jade Cargill. I like what they did here. This was fine. I will say this. On tonight's show in general, they're having way too many beatdowns and brawls. I think that they're having I think with some of these feuds, there's way too many like beatdowns and brawls. Towards WrestleMania. Because you have Jey Uso and Gunther who constantly have a beatdown or brawl. You have Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre who just have back-to-back beatdowns. You have this right here, because I think last week they did recently with Jade. Then you had the main event, of course. You had Tiffany and Charlotte. There's way too many beatdown and brawls in these feuds, okay? I'm cool with one or two, but there's too many happening too much. You should build towards those beatdowns and brawls, in my opinion. There's way too many of them, in my opinion. You need more storytelling and more promos, if anything. The only feud I feel like that should have beatdowns and brawls is Roman, Seth, and Punk. And really, I would say Naomi and Jade, and then maybe Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Other than those three, the rest of them should not be doing as many beats. Oh yeah, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and well, to be fair, I give that one a pass because they only had one, so that one gets a pass. But every other few been doing too many of them in my opinion. Then we end up getting the main event. We end up getting Roman Reigns, Punk, and Seth Rollins. This was overall a good. This was really good. I enjoy what they did here. You're gonna get in Roman starting off the promo. He basically ends up saying that Punk cost him at the Rumble, so he screwed him in a steel cage match. Then he ends up saying Seth Rollins attacked him at the Rumble as well. No, was that the it was at the Rumble. I don't know why I thought it was at the Elimination Chamber. He ends up costing him at the Royal Rumble as well, attacking him. Ends up saying that, so that's why he attacked him at the still in the steel cage match. Then he ends up saying that if anyone wants to come out and talk to me, come on out. Seth Rollins was the one to come out. Seth Rollins basically mentions their history, ends up saying that he ends up saying that there's time to he basically alludes to having another match with Roman Reigns. Basically he alludes that it's time for them to have another match, but then CM Punk comes out, he gets in the microphone, and he ends up saying that neither Roman or Punk beat him without the other, and that he basically ends up saying that he ends up mentioning, War Games, mentioning the Rumble. He ends up saying that he saved Roman Reigns at War Games, and that he ends up saying that Paul Heyman still owes him a favor. Paul Heyman was a little worried because he thought he was going to ask for the favor now, but Punk ends up saying that he's not going to ask for the favor now. Roman looks at Paul Heyman, looks confused, and then Punk ends up attacking Roman. Then Seth Rollins ends up attacking Punk. Then you have Roman and Seth going back and forth trying to attack Punk. Then you get a bunch of security with all three of them brawling, and we basically end the show there. Overall, this was a solid show for me. It was enjoyable. I like what they're doing here. Now, I do think the build towards WrestleMania is still very slow in my opinion, which I don't understand why. But this match is basically confirmed for Mania because in this in this segment, you end up getting all three wrestlers pointing at the WrestleMania song. So it's very obvious this is the match. I'm very excited for it. Overall, this was a good show. You guys let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.